The S&P 500 is showing signs of weakness. I'm going to show you my analysis, what I'm looking at, and where I possibly think this could go moving forward. So let's go ahead, jump into the charts here on the S&P 500. So the first thing I notice is I put on my Terror line indicator, which is a trend line indicator, which I'll have a link in the description if you're interested in trend lines like this. I'm not going to go too much into it, but essentially we got a nice resistance and support zone with this. And then on top of that, it draws these really good trend lines. And so what I notice is, and I call this the X pattern. And essentially it's just when 2 points converge. And that is essentially when an X pattern forms. And so this is what I would consider an X pattern. And honestly, whenever this convergence happens with these two with trend lines like this, now this one's a previous one that broke, so it's not as strong, but it did respect it. So it came all the way up here and respected it. And then this one also respected. So we're really seeing an interesting levels here, and it did break out. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for continuation of the downside here. I think that we could possibly see that, maybe even something like this, a little chop, maybe, and then possibly more downside move. I just think that, you know, we are at all-time highs here. We basically hit. We got very close to all-time highs moving forward, and the S&P 500 is just continuing to just chop and chop and chop. I would not be surprised if we see another chop to the downside. That would not surprise me at all. So I just wanted to do this, jump into this quick little analysis video and just really just look at the charts. I'm not even really looking at all the other data and all the stuff coming in that is a potential catalyst to move this thing downward as well. And I really do think it looks quite weak right here, especially as it continued to touch this zone right here. So you see this downward sloping trend line. It formed the first one here, then it drove back down. The second one here, it touched, and on top of that, it hit that two converging trend lines, and it just could not break it. And so what that looks like, that could definitely be some weakness and potential move the downside. I'm not always a big time bear. I'm actually mostly bullish. But whenever you see a pattern like this forming on the charts on the higher time frames, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Here's the daily chart as well. There is an interesting trend line right here as well that it could possibly head down to. And it's really not all that far away. It's only about 2% away. So that's really not that far down. So I definitely can see some downside momentum, especially if it cannot break this level right here. If it does, I even have alert right here set up at 700. I think that we could possibly go up to 700, but my bias right now is definitely more downside moving here, especially as we get really, to me, any type of news in these markets right now, just with the volatility, just with what the VIX has been doing. It could possibly shoot to the downside. And something that I also wanted to, I noticed this a few days ago, and look at this channel. This is a channel. Let's just go CHN, right? So this is a upward channel that it just continues to come down onto this level and bounce, right? It just continues to go into this zone right here and then bounce. This is the VIX, right? And so if the VIX is down here right now, could we see a possible bounce right there, which means more volatility, which most likely will mean downside movement there. And so that's also something to pay attention to. So again, that's the S&P 500 that I was looking at on the hourly chart here. It's looking pretty weak here towards the tail end of the day. This is Tuesday the 10th on February. So will we see some downward pressure? Will we see some pressure like this? I think that we possibly could, which means, dip buying, potential opportunities coming again. But this time it has to hold. If it does come down here, it is going to have to hold some of these levels. And so this was an upward sloping trend line right here. This is a, let me actually zoom out right there, but this is a trend line that's going to have to hold. It's going to have to hold this right here if it comes down here. And then also these two big time support levels, I think we could even break these. If we break these, who knows where we could go from there. One potential target would be to this next support zone at 671. So that's just the downside. I mean, there's so much downside potential here and not a lot of upside. So that's really the key factor. I mean, when you look at it like this, the downside potential could be, anywhere from 2-3%. And then upside really is maybe not even a percentage away, unless if we could start breaking some of these highs. There is a trend line that I drew right here as well that I had where we could possibly see that 700 mark being hit. I think maybe we have one more push down before we get there, though. So that's just my opinion, my analysis, and that's just something that I've been watching. And there, on top of that, if you can even see this on the 4-hour, look at all these wicks. Look at all of these wicks you see here. And that's just not a good. So right here was a 3 in a row essentially before it finally pushed down. So we actually have a kind of the same deal. A lot of wicks right here on the 4-hour. Could we see the possible move to the downside? Possibly. Or some crazy news happens where everything is okay, everybody is loving life, and things rocket back to the upside. But I think we got one more move down before we eventually start making our way back up. So that's my analysis on the S&P 500 today. If you guys enjoyed that, please give us a quick little thumbs up, a like. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody subscribing and tuning into the channel. Like I said, if you're interested in this indicator, in the Terror Line indicator, this is the indicator right here. It's just these blue lines right here. And then we also map out support and resistance. It's a great indicator. It's one indicator that I use every single day. And on top of that, we've been talking about snap trades as well in the morning. So it's been on fire. It's been doing really, really great. So be sure to check that out as well if you're interested in some type of scalping system. But I really just wanted to just come on here and just show you guys what my analysis, what I'm thinking could happen here on the S&P 500 and where we could possibly go from here. So, all right, guys, that's going to be it for me for the day. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your time. Tell somebody you care about them because maybe that'll be the difference. And we'll see you guys in the next one. All right.